Welcome to the tutorial of Meet the GIMP. My name is Rolf Steinert and I am recording this in Bremen, Northern Germany. In the last tutorial, I showed something about the drawing tools and somehow the Apply Jitter button was lost. I remember doing that stuff, but well, it must have been gone during editing. When I paint some lines here, you see it has a smooth corner and it looks like it is done with a pen. Now I apply jitter and set the amount to, let's say, around half or so, and you see the paintbrush jitters a bit and the border is not that even as it has been before. Let's increase the amount and now you can see the cloud of dots here which are distributed around the line I have drawn, and that's the secret of the jitter button. There is another correction to be made. Hansen wrote to me that the eraser tool has one important difference from the pen or brush. To see it in action, simply paint something on a foreground layer in transparency, that is, with an alpha channel on. A pen or brush with the background color selected will paint in that color, but the eraser will remove the color, turning it transparent. Okay, let's try that. Black is my foreground color and orange is my background color. And you can see the layer name is in bold. That means the alpha channel is not in the image. So I switch on the alpha channel. So let's select the eraser. Here my foreground and background color are the same. So I pick the orange color by pressing Ctrl, click as the background color. So basically we are painting with the background color. And now I on the alpha channel by right clicking on the layer and add alpha channel. And you can see the name is not bold anymore. And now I select the eraser. You can see that foreground and background color is erased. Now I will tell you more about paint brushes and the brushes you can select for painting. So let's talk about the brushes in this tutorial of Meet the GIMP. Brushes are used by a lot of tools, starting with the pencil and I think ending with dodge and burn tool. All these tools in between uses a brush except for the ink. So now I select the paintbrush as an example. You can select brushes either by clicking on the brushes dialog or in the toolbox select the paintbrush and click on the brush option, and you will get the set of brushes. There are small signs around here. The plus shows that the brush is not as small as shown here, and when I click on that, I see a big brush. This, the red triangle, is the animated brush. Let's try this here. It looks a bit like a pencil drawing, and this is called a pencil sketch. The blue ones are parametric brushes. They are basically mathematical mode, which I will show you a bit later. Here are some standard brushes. In this brush, the black part is filled with the foreground color. In this case, it's black. And the white part in these standard brushes is not changed. So I can paint here. And if I change my foreground color to red, then the small image will be red in my painting, and this white will stay as background. There are some other brushes here, like this one, the pepper color brush. I can just put a pepper in here and even draw a line of these peppers. This brush is not very useful, but you can make your own brushes, and there it can be very useful. Here is a brush, which is a very nice thing. This is the wine, and you can draw a line of wine, which looks quite nice. You can use it for little decoration. Let's look at the strange brush here in the front clipboard. So now I draw something, but before that I should use black and white as my colors. So now I select a square area around this painting and copy it with Ctrl C into the clipboard. For copying, I could have gone to Edit, Copy, or I could have right-clicked and copy. Now I select my paintbrush here and I select the clipboard dialog. You see here, it isn't working. I could only paint in this selection because this area is selected and this area isn't selected. So I have selected this by Shift Ctrl A, and now I can paint. You see here, my little flower pops up. You can even draw a line of the little flowers, which is not very good because the background is also copied and each flower was overlaid by the other. This will look nice if you just copy a little bit of an image and then drawing into the image where you want to have it. You can use it for stamping your logos or stamp a face of a person in a crude way in an image. When I open the brushes page here, I can modify a bit about the brushes. First thing here is spacing, and still I have my clipboard brush selected, and when I go to 100% with the spacing, I can draw a line of lovely flowers. In this dialog, you can also make a new brush, just clicking on the first option here. But this is editing option. So click on the second option, and here I can make a new brush. I can select a shape, either circle, square or diamond. Let's take the diamond. I can change this radius, and I can add some spikes to the brush as well. You can see that I can change the hardness of my brush and make it softer or harder. I can change the aspect ratio also. By changing the angle of the brush, I can tilt it a bit and I can change the spacing. Let's do that here. With this little star, enhance the spacing to 200 or so. And now I am finished making a new brush, and I call it star. Now you can see in the brush dialog your new star brush, and when you use it, you get this kind of star. Now I only have to fill this up with black. Select gold as your foreground color. Apply high amount of jitter to the star brush and stamp the star here. I think the jitter is quite a lot and it doesn't look nice. This was a very quick way of making a new brush. I can edit this brush by selecting the first option, and I can change the angle a bit and turning it, and now I can use it here. I have changed the angle a bit, so this works quite well. You can do your own mathematically defined brushes by making a new brush. The first option is just to copy something into the clipboard. The last thing I want to show you in this tutorial is to get brushes from the net, and that can be done simply by searching for GIMP brushes. And I have here one example for you on DeviantArt by ICTina. Here are the available brushes that ICTina has made, and I can download them by selecting here Download. And I save them to the disk. I have downloaded it to my disk, and I will install them in a moment. So let's look at this page, and you can see that these brushes are licensed in the Creative Commons license, and I am not allowed to do derivative works with this. So I am not allowed to take these brushes, and I cannot change them and put them on web again, but I may use them and work with them and even publish them on my website with attribution to ICTina and the original link. You can see here that there is a link to GIMP brushes, and there are a lot of more brushes on DeviantArt and on other websites. This is one of the newest and popular brush from last 24 hours. I select 1 month, and you can see now there are lots of different brushes. And well, let's take this Stardust and Twinkles. But this is quite shocking. Canucks Spike Brush Pack by Nux57. Well, there is no license information here, so I can download it and I can work on it. I just click on download. Here you can see the folder opened of GIMP 2.4 brushes, and here you can see star.vbr. I don't know about VBR, but GBR are the standard brushes from the GIMP. Here are the brushes made by ICTina from that website. I open this folder with my archive tool, and you can see there are watercolors in JPG and a lot of other files like README. So let me just select them all and pull them over into the brush directory. Here they are, and I do the same with Canucks Spike Brush Pack. I open the folder with Archive Manager, and you see here GIMP brush files. So I select them all and pull them over to my brush directory. Now I have all the brushes in my brush directory. So I close my Archive Manager and I close the folder here and get back to the GIMP. You can see that nothing has changed here, but I can select this Reload Brushes, and now you see I have lot more brushes, and these brushes are from ICTina, and now I can try them here. These brushes are like watercolor. So I select a color from the watercolor box here and draw. These brushes can be used only for stamping and not for drawing. These brushes have lots of jitter in it. Let me first clear the background. So these brushes here are well for something like faking a watercolor, or you can use them to build a frame around the image. So now, let's look at the Kinux brushes. I haven't seen them before, and let's try that. These brushes are big. It's again a thing for stamping, and quite different. When I paint with them, it's not that nice. But when I increase the spacing and decrease the opacity, it can be nice. If you need a border around something, it can be quite nice. But I think these brushes are made for graphical artists and not that useful for photographers. But perhaps you will find a way to use them. I think I have covered a lot of things about the brushes, and I will cover making an animated brush, image hose, and making this color brushes in another small edition. For more information, go to meetthegimp.org, and to send a comment, please write to info@meetthegimp.org. This is Hemant Vaidande dubbing for the Spoken Tutorial project.